Showdown meeting between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Mike Johnson as she tries to topple him as Speaker. Latest. Marjorie Taylor Greene met with Speaker Mike Johnson this afternoon as she threatened to force a House vote to oust the GOP leader. The Georgia Republican vowed last week to force a vote to remove Ms. Johnson from his role as Speaker. If Ms. Greene triggers a privileged motion, the House will be forced to vote within 48 hours. The meeting lasted more than an hour. Afterwards, Ms. Greene told reporters they would meet again on Tuesday. Meanwhile, the Speaker told Fox News he thinks he can get everyone on the same page after the meeting. He also noted he spoke to former President Donald Trump on Monday. Several GOP representatives and senators have condemned Ms. Greene's call for removal. Representative Nancy Mace, a Republican from South Carolina, said the motion to vacate won't succeed. "We need to get our act together and come together for the betterment of our country. I don't know why she's doing this because the votes aren't there," Ms. Mace said Monday morning. GOP Senator Tom Tillis called Ms. Greene uninformed and a waste of time last month amid her calls to remove Mr. Johnson. Democratic leaders also said they would vote to save Ms. Johnson. Key points. Marjorie Taylor Greene meeting with Mike Johnson as she vows to call for his removal. Why is Marjorie Taylor Greene calling to oust Speaker Mike Johnson? Marjorie Taylor Greene ends meeting with Johnson. Mike Johnson says he can get everyone on the same page. What is a motion to vacate? Mike Johnson says he can get everyone on the same page. 23-2. Katie Hawkinson. Speaker Mike Johnson told Fox News he thinks he can get everyone on the same page after meeting with Marjorie Taylor Greene on Monday afternoon. Ms. Greene told reporters the duo plans to meet on Tuesday as well. Mr. Johnson also told Fox News he spoke with former President Donald Trump today amid Ms. Greene's calls for his removal. I see why and I. What is NUGA and why is Marjorie Taylor Greene using the acronym? 23 o'clock. Katie Hawkinson. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene says her fellow representatives will need to choose between MAGA or MUGA as her attempt to oust House Speaker Mike Johnson moves ahead. On Wednesday, the right-wing Georgia firebrand, accompanied by fellow right-wing Representative Thomas Massie of Kentucky, said she will call a privileged motion next week that would trigger an automatic vote within 48 hours over Johnson's removal. Ms. Greene and Mr. Massie criticized Ms. Johnson's reliance on Democrats to pass everything from spending bills to reauthorization of surveillance legislation and aid to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. They blasted work between Mr. Johnson and Ms. Jeffries as a culmination of the Uniparty. Ms. Greene then brandished a hat that said MUGA. The Uniparty is Make Ukraine Great Again, she said. The Uniparty is about funding every single foreign war. They think this is the business model that needs to be done. Marjorie Taylor Greene ends meeting. Marjorie Taylor Greene has ended her meeting with Speaker Mike Johnson. The two plan to meet again tomorrow, she told reporters waiting outside the Speaker's office. Analysis. Marjorie Taylor Greene's exercise in vanity has failed spectacularly. Tuesday should have been the perfect day for Marjorie Taylor Greene to trigger her motion to vacate. It had been more than a week since the House had voted on the foreign aid package that provided assistance to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. That vote allowed Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell to blast isolationists in the Republican Party and gloat at their diminished power. MTG was poised to bite back. Instead, on Tuesday, Democrats threw House Speaker Mike Johnson a lifeline. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic Whip Catherine Clark, and Democratic Caucus Chairman Pete Aguilar all said they would join in a motion to table Greene's motion, specifically citing the right-wing conspiracy theorists from Georgia as their reason for doing so. Meeting with Greene, Johnson stretches past 1 hour mark. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and Speaker Mike Johnson have been in a private meeting for more than an hour, according to Fox News' Chad Pergram. The pair are meeting after Ms. Greene vowed to force a vote to oust Ms. Johnson this week. MTG faces some GOP opposition to her ousting effort. Marjorie Taylor Greene is currently meeting with Speaker Mike Johnson after vowing to force a vote to oust him this week. Amid these rising tensions, some GOP representatives and senators are pushing back against her call. Representative Nancy Mace, a Republican from South Carolina, said Ms. Greene won't succeed. "We need to get our act together and come together for the betterment of our country. I don't know why she's doing this because the votes aren't there," Ms. Mace said of her colleague on Monday morning. GOP Senator Tom Tillis called Ms. Greene uninformed and a waste of time last month as she called to oust Ms. Johnson. Democratic leadership also said last week they would vote to save Ms. Johnson. Watch. Representative Nancy Mace condemns Marjorie Taylor Greene's efforts to oust Speaker Johnson. Marjorie Taylor Greene now in Speaker's office. Marjorie Taylor Greene entered Speaker Mike Johnson's office just minutes ago, Punchbowl News reports. She reported reportedly did not speak to reporters on her way in. Speaker Mike Johnson set to meet with Marjorie Taylor Greene momentarily. Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene is set to meet with Speaker Mike Johnson privately at 3:30 p.m., PBS NewsHour's Lisa Desjardins reports. Ms. Greene vowed last week to force a vote to remove Ms. Johnson from his role as Speaker of the House. If Ms. Greene triggers a privileged motion, the House will be forced to vote within 48 hours. Three reasons Mike Johnson's job is safe, and one reason it might not be. Reeve analysis on why Marjorie Taylor Greene's motion to vacate against Speaker Mike Johnson could fail. From the Independent's Washington Bureau Chief Eric Garcia. Mike Johnson says he doesn't know if motion to vacate will be brought today. In a brief gaggle with reporters Monday afternoon, Speaker Mike Johnson said he didn't know if Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene would force a motion to vacate vote today. "I don't know," Mr. Johnson said as he walked through the halls of the U.S. Capitol. "I just got to do my job right now." Ms. Greene and Mr. Johnson are set to have a private meeting in less than 1 hour. "We need to get our act together." GOP representative condemns Greene's call to oust Johnson. Representative Nancy Mace, a Republican from South Carolina, said Marjorie Taylor Greene's motion to vacate Speaker Mike Johnson can't succeed. "We need to get our act together and come together for the betterment of our country. I don't know why she's doing this because the votes aren't there," Ms. Mace said of her colleague on Monday morning. "She's gonna lose the motion to vacate." Last week, Marjorie Taylor Greene pledged to vacate Speaker Mike Johnson. Republican lawmaker doesn't mince his words about Marjorie Taylor Greene. "She is a total waste of time." Republican Senator Thom Tillis called one of his House colleagues a waste of time, a bad leader, and a threat to the future of the GOP, according to a recent report. CNN's Aaron Burnett played an audio recording of the senator trashing Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene during her show on Tuesday. "I think she's uninformed. She is a total waste of time," Mr. Tillis says on the recording. "She is a horrible leader. She is dragging our brand down. She, not the Democrats, is the biggest risk to us getting back to a majority." Ms. Greene has frustrated some members of her party by crusading against Mike Johnson, the current Speaker of the House. Ms. Johnson was installed after Congressman Matt Gaetz led a successful, though extremely unpopular campaign to remove Kevin McCarthy, then Speaker of the House. Mr. Gaetz reportedly moved to have Mr. McCarthy replaced because the former Speaker agreed with Democrats to pass a vote that would keep the government operating. Representative Thomas Massie backs vowed a vote on Mike Johnson ouster. 1730, Katie Hawkinson. Representative Thomas Massie, a Republican from Kentucky, is standing beside Marjorie Taylor Greene and her call to vote on ousting Speaker Mike Johnson this week. "This week we vote on whether Mike Johnson should remain as Speaker," Mr. Massie wrote on X. "If you're happy with what he's done this year, and if you're looking forward to what he will do the remainder of the year, you should join the Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries in supporting Mike Johnson." Democrats say they would save Republican Speaker amid possible effort to oust him. 1715, Katie Hawkinson. House Democrats have announced that they will vote to save Speaker Mike Johnson if far-right Republicans choose to trigger a motion to vacate to remove him. The motion is being pushed by NAGA Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, but it has struggled to garner support even among some of the Republicans who voted to oust Mr. Johnson's predecessor as Speaker, Kevin McCarthy. Mr. Johnson has faced criticism from the right flank of his party after going ahead with a vote to send aid to Ukraine as part of the $95 in foreign aid package that also included funds for Israel and Taiwan.